Oh, my one okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, my name is Olamikbo, and I'm a property manager here in Lagos, Nigeria, and also a realtor. And I share on my channel here tips about property management and also listings of some top properties around Lagos and its environment. So this morning I'll just be sharing some of the few tips on property management also for those who are beginners as a property managers, or in local parlance what we call a caretaker. And if you're just joining, my name is Olamikbo. I'm a property manager here in Lagos. If you need my service to assist you in managing your properties, you can reach out to me and I'll be glad to be of assistance to you. And I'll be glad to help you manage your properties. And let me just quickly some of those tips that I have for those who are just joining in property management as a beginner. You need to know that you're crucial. If you're a caretaker, you are taking on a new property, you need to be thorough is property. And some of the things that you know you need to do as a property manager is management of tenants. Management is very, very important. So you are more like a bridge between the tenant and also the property owner. And you might also need even to manage the community where that property is located. You might need to a whole lot of other people. Either you are interfacing with the securities within, like I do, with some of the properties that I manage. Some of the things you need to do is, first, you need to conduct a very thorough background check, knowing the kind of tenants that you are getting managing. You need to know that the person is a credible person. It's a responsible tenant, not the kind of tenant that will be giving. But many a times you can do all that you need to do, and the person still start throwing some tantrums. But you need to conduct a background check and verify the tenants that you are getting for your potential clients. You need to meet the potential person's character and intention is not usually written on the face. So it might take a while before the person starts. You need to maintain open communication and tenant inquiries and concerns. You need to be approachable and responsive. Different things that will come up. So you need to be attentive to their concern. You need to leverage on technology in this age and time to be able to communicate to tenants or also to the property owner. I would suggest that in this age of WhatsApp, Telegram, emails, there are a whole lot of social media platform that you can leverage on, because take for instance, I have some properties that I'm having maybe like 10, 18, or 15 tenants, or some that are maybe like up to like 20 in a building, calling each one of them one by one. All I did was just for me to set up a WhatsApp group, and I send the message, I communicate to, and everybody will read through and they will respond accordingly, rather than me calling them one by one to be asking about this and that. And most of the time, even I just use if it's just a short message, I just use a Canva app. I design the whatsoever, I put it, and I drop that flyer on the platform, and voila, the message is passed across. So for as a property manager, if you just started, you need to use multiple communication channels to get across to most of your tenants. And also you need to do a regular inspection to make sure that the property is in good order. You need to do regular inspection to make sure that the property is in good order, because I always suggest that you do a preventive maintenance rather than emergency maintenance. A preventive maintenance is better. So you need to envisage some things. Whenever you're called, oh, this pipe is leaking, this wire is posing a problem, or something happened. Like recently, one of the properties that I manage, I was called upon that there's a leakage in one of the water tank, and I quickly sent a plumber there to make sure that that water tank is taken care of, and that part was patched. And there was a time that okay, there was a little problem with the switch of the pumping machine, which I quickly had to attend to before it becomes a bigger or major issue that we'll be spending a whole lot. There was a time, I think it was one of the properties in Magodo, that there was a crack in the POP. So I quickly swung into action, and I sent a POP person there to make sure that that POP was fixed. Although eventually we had to pull the entire POP in that particular room, we had to pull it down, so that, because he said that if we just patch that aspect that cracked, but beyond that, we were able to find out what exactly is causing that POP to be cracking, and we saw that okay, the black points where that POP is cracking, it's the location where the water tank is seated on the top of the building. That's part of the room. It's extended to a little bit to that part of it, and that's what brought about the leak and the crack in that POP. So the water was sinking. So what we did initially was that we had to remove that tank, water tank, and we saw that there was some kind of how will I put it, some things that were placed on that concrete floor initially, but all those things had already peeled off and they were not absorbing the water and making. So we just had to remove everything, and we still went back to the traditional way by putting tiles on that concrete part where the water tank is seated, and making sure that it's fully walled and it's fully tiled. And when it was actually tiled all around, including even the extended wall up. So we put the wall, we put the tiles, we cemented it, we put the waterproof cement, and it was fine. We allowed it to dry. And afterwards, we now came back to fix the POP inside that room. And with that now, the whole issue has been resolved, and we are now at rest. So as a caretaker, as a property manager, you need to be up and doing in making sure that you visit any property that you are managing to make sure that you attend to issues. Even at times, you might not even go and visit, but whenever the tenant raises any concern and calls you that, oh, I observe so and so thing, just make sure that you attend to it. There was an issue last year that I rented one of an apartment out, which I manage also in Lekki, in Orchid area, in within that estate. So there's a 5-bedroom duplex which we rented out just barely, I think 3 to 4 months that the tenants moved in. He just observed that about 2 toilets in that apartment. Whenever they flush, it comes back. So they flushed, it comes back. So I asked him to make a video, and he did a video, and he sent it to me. And I sent a plumber. I called the owner of the property. Initially I sent a plumber there. Okay, he has actually called the plumber, and they were not able to find out the root cause of the matter of that issue. And from 2 rooms, it affected another room, and it now makes a total of 3 rooms, which whenever they flush, it rushes back. So, and I had to go there myself, and I saw it, so I had to bring in one of my best plumber, Chesson. I had to bring him in, and he examined everything, and he discovered that, okay, one of the children must have actually thrown something into the closet, into that WC that is blocking that. And one of the rooms also, he observed that, okay, the water is coming back. He checks that, okay, there was an issue maybe from the time when that building was constructed, that we had to break through the wall inside one of the rooms, and we discovered that one of the pipes is not aligning right in terms of letting the water to flow out. And the biggest shock that we discovered that, okay, being lucky, we discovered that around that estate, all their the way they built that the soak away, the so-called soak away that they have, that they discovered that soak away, that all the water coming from both the kitchen, the toilet, everywhere in the building, they are all channeled into the same septic, and coupled with the topography of that place, we discovered that, okay, Lekki being working, because anyone that builds around that Orchid and all those things, that area in Lekki, they will usually do some filling, and when rain is falling, no matter how much they try, there are still some water that seep out from under the ground and into the septic tank, into the big soakaway, and the septic is filled up, so the water is rushing back into the building. So we had to get an evacuation truck, who actually, first of all, came to suck out water about 3 times. We now had to break into the wall, and even the whole solution to this building took almost 2.5 weeks. It took 2.5 weeks before we were able to, we had to break into walls. We had to do a whole lot of piping. Though the owner even was complaining that he bought this property, this, that. But what needs to be done needs to be done. And because the comfort of the tenants should be paramount. And when we discover that he's not the making of the tenant, aside from the one that one of his children must have actually thrown one of their clothes, but later we discover it was a cloth and socks and something like that we saw when the pipe was broken into, and then we eventually pulled those ones out. But the major issue was that all the water that is coming from the house is gathering in the same septic tank, whether it's coming from the kitchen or it's coming from the toilet. They all gather, and coupled with the land topography there in Lekki, that water seeps from under the ground into the septic tank. So we had to do a whole lot of works and some concrete and also laying some nylons in that. So that in order to make sure that the water that is seeping from the ground also can be reduced. And again, the channel, the major, how will I put it, there's another bigger place that the water is going to. There's like a central place where the water is going to within that estate. The one that is closest to that building is blocked. Is blocked because they join about 3 houses, usually join 3 houses together. But there are a whole lot of even that I learned in the course of my work as a property man of that building, and we were able to put a whole lot of things to place, and we eventually resolved this matter. So that's what I'm just saying, that as a property manager, whenever that the tenant maybe calls you that, okay, there is a problem, please and please quickly attend to that issue. It's better to prevent a major disaster than for you not to attend to it at all, because what you might just maybe spending your hundreds of thousands on, or something that is just minute on, rather you need to prevent it before it escalates and become a big issue that you will be spending loads and loads of millions on. So this is part of what I do as a property manager, to make sure that the issues that tenants raise is immediately attended to. There was another issue that, okay, I think that was still early this year. There's another issue that actually attended to that I'm having about in that building. Okay, I'm having about, I think, 11 tenants. Okay, some came in, their time of taking the apartment varies. So some have moved in and they've connected, run the wire for their generator. And there was a particular tenant that moved in later on. I think he was, because initially I told them that, okay, whenever any one of them is moving in and they want to do generator, because I was the one that actually renovated that property. It was an old building. We renovated it, converted it into the modern structure, and we renovated it. So I think it was on the 5th or 6th tenant, because I have 11 of them in that building. So one of the tenants that moved in, he just brought in another electrician, and the electrician, not knowing how the entire structure and in terms of the wiring of that building is, messed up a whole lot of things, and we started having issue with many of them that just started saying that there's kind of a spark here, there's a spark there, a wire started burning and things like that. And when they called me and I went there, I took my even the electrician that actually they were, immediately he entered into, he got to where the meter and all those things. He said, he said, somebody has tampered with something here. We kept asking, there was just this thing about people at many times that nobody wanted to own up, until one of them now said, it was until when Mr. Alagbaja came in that he brought, I wanted to do the wiring. Another thing that actually even exposed him was that we discovered that the ceiling that we have done upstairs, the ceiling, we just saw that there's a crack, there's part of it. Somebody entered into the ceiling and the person didn't place his leg very well, and there was a crack in the ceiling. And that was when I said, who broke the ceiling? That was when the whole truth started coming out. Okay, because we were there to, somebody complained of this wire started sparking. I plugged something in you switch on something here. Is that so? We discovered that inside the ceiling, some wires have melted and things like that as a result of just someone's singular mistake and of not listening to instruction. And that was how we actually swung into action. I had to get it, but eventually, though, I asked him that he needs to pay for some of those damages which he has caused, because instruction was that whenever any one of them is moving in, they should call on me so that I can bring in the electrician who wired that house to help them do the connection for their generator. But he just brought in somebody that maybe it might be his brother or somebody that, or he didn't just want to really pay, or somebody that knows that he won't have to pay. He won't have to pay. So he brought it and it caused a whole lot of damage. and we had to spend some money to rectify this problem. So that's another issue that we face as a property manager, as a caretaker at times. So my advice to some of you who are just coming into this space is that you just need to be up and doing, and make sure that you are on top of your game whenever you are dealing with tenants and with issue, and be proactive. Another tip I was told that you need to have a team of artisans. You need to have a team of artisans. That's one of the things that have actually helped me in my journey as a property manager. I have teams of artisans, be it from bricklayer to carpenter to electrician to plumber to even painter, because it will make your work easy. It will make your work easy because you can't do everything. But I'm not a plumber. But one thing is that I know about, as a result of my work now, I know about virtually all these aspects of building. Even in terms of construction and all those things. But I won't be the one to bend down to be doing this thing. But you need to have a team of artisans that will work with you, so that you can call on them at any point in time, and they will be able to attend to any issue that any of your tenants is raising, and that one will be sorted. So you need to have an artisan. Like I've mentioned, that you need to be proactive. You need to have an open communication line and you need to leverage on different communication channel as a property manager. In this age of technology, you need to be up and doing to make sure that you are on top of your game. Another thing that I would say is that you need to know how to manage relationship very well, especially if you are dealing in a building that has multiple tenants. Tenants will fight themselves. Tenants will be on each other's toes, but most of the time they will always want to call you. This one will call you, that one will call you. But one thing I've done is that I do not judge anyone based on whatsoever that they might have told me. I always make sure, even there are some things, if there are some calls, once I receive them, I will just tell them, okay, I will attend to it. Because if I look at, by the time I wait, I just that this thing is just maybe the thing is not something that I need to wade into or even delve into. I just allow the matter and to rest, and to God be the glory. That thing will just fizzle out, because one thing, they are the one living there. They are the one living, and one of the things that they will surely get on each other's to, especially maybe when tenants are just moving into a new space newly. There are 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and they have a whole lot of other things that they share in common. Maybe there is they use the same pumping machine. They use they have a cleaner that is coming to clean for all of them. There's a security that is attending to all of them. So they will always have one thing, that somebody will always be. Let me just say, somebody will always be mad. Somebody will always be calm. Somebody will always be crazy. Somebody will always be nagging. But one thing is that, as a caretaker, as a property manager, you need to manage of all these excesses, or need to manage all this crazy thing also that is happening with tenants, so that they don't put you in the middle. They don't put you in a fix and start thinking that you prefer one tenant to the other. And another thing is that you need to keep records. You need to keep records on your part as a property manager, as a caretaker of managing property. You need to keep records of repairs that you get done, of expenses, so that you to avoid unnecessary argument. Because many a times your own money might actually have to be used to get some things done before the so-called landlord or landlady. Because some still happened recently. I got some things fixed. A tenant paid. I had to deduct some of those money and all those things. Even when the argument started, thank God for payment receipts. Thank God for invoices. Thank God for videos. Thank God for pictures. I quickly presented them and the old things. But so you need to make sure that you keep records. You need to keep records, so to avoid unnecessary arguments and unnecessary fight between you and the tenant, or between you and and the landlord or the so-called landlady. And another thing that I do is that most of the artisans that work with me, I make sure that at least there should be some level of education. I'm not saying that they need to have master degree or have BSc, but one thing is that you should be able to make use of your Android phone in terms of recording things. Whenever I send you anywhere to go and work, so take pictures, take videos, send it to me so that I can have records. Also to be able to defend them also for anything that they might have gone anywhere to do. And I thank God also even for saving and for the record keeping also has saved me from a whole lot of police trouble. I remember there was a particular project I was doing, I think 2022 to 2023, and there's some tenants were still in the building and some have left. We started the renovation work, and I didn't just know that day that I had to, because they called me that some tenants were threatening the artisans, the bricklayer that are working in that building, and why would they work here, this or that. And the so-called bricklayer, the Baba, it's not that techie. But thank God that I was there. And I usually, whenever I go to that building, I take videos, I take pictures, and there was an argument about a particular thing that they said, that a gas, it's this small 3 kg cylinder that that they allege that my bricklayer stole it. And thank God that I've taken the video of that portion in that kitchen where that thing was. And later on, the truth came out that person just took that thing into his room and wanted to put the old blame and wanted to put that my bricklayer into trouble. But thank God for the videos, thank God for the pictures that have been taken, that I've been keeping, and that saved me a whole lot of trouble when the police were brought in on that matter. So you need to know how to keep records. You need to, and some might just say that no. In this age of technology, in this age of evidence and proof, make sure that you have your proof as a caretaker, as a property manager. Even whenever you go on inspection, on visit, do your own video, do your own, so that whenever you're talking, you can talk with facts and figure. So my name is Tolulope Olamipo. Like I have said, I'm a property manager and a realtor in Lagos. If you are in need of my service to manage your properties, maybe here in Lagos or anywhere, because I manage other properties outside Lagos, and God has been helping me in doing that. And aside from Lagos here, I have other properties outside Lagos that are in my care that I manage also. So you can reach out to me on 080-2222-6573, 080-2222-6573, and I'll be glad to be of service to you. And I will still, subsequent times, I will still be sharing some other tips as regards property management. And if you also have old buildings that you want to be converted or want to be renovated to modern state, or you don't even have a clue what to do with the old building, maybe the one that have been bequeathed to you, that is willed to you, you can reach out to me and I'll be able to give you the necessary advice on how to go about it and how can be of assistance on what to do with that property. I'm of thoughts that whatsoever that might be handed over to you is not something that you just sell out like that. You can remodernize it and still be getting a whole lot of value from it. So my name is Tolulope Olamipo, and I'm really appreciate. Thank you also. Thank you for watching, and I'll be glad to come back again to share more tips with us on property management, on real estate, but more especially on how to maximize whichever property that has been given to you or that you have in your care. Because beyond just buying property, you need to think of how that property needs to be maintained, how that property needs to be managed, so that you also can be able to focus on other things that you need to do, on important things that you need to do. Because it's not just about acquiring properties, but you need to know how well will, in the next 5, 10, 20 years, who will be in charge to help me to manage this property to the taste that I have or that I want, so that nothing will just be going haywire here and there. And you know one thing, when you left a property unattended to, it's just like a human being. It start depreciating. The value start decreasing. So you need to make sure. So I'm passionate about property management. I'm highly passionate about property management, on how property should be, on how it meant to be maintained. So I'm passionate about it, and that's my calling. And I've been doing it now for the past 10 years, and I'm still on it. And I thank God that for how far God has helped me, and that's why I'm sharing some of my experience with you here. So till I come your way next time, have a profitable day and have a profitable week. My name is Solopo Lamipo. Thank you.